I just finished dancing. I think so many thoughts. Oh, none of that sounds right. Let me not think about it. When your body remembers, sometimes, actually often, the best you can do is dance with your ghosts. Join them in the shadows and introduce them to your friends.
Big old teeth, still on paint like G.O.G. Roll like this, like it on me. Gotta get that like we on D. Me, myself, that's 3 on 3. Stop my shine like you don't see. Stop this here, but G.O.D.
Hello. I'm so sleepy. It's late. It's like 1 a.m. Things about this summer, I have been staying up so late. So naughty. I'm up late tonight packing because my residency ends tomorrow here at Sanctuary. Anyways, I've been wanting to communicate, to share, to tell the story. And I've just been really struggling to have time. Part being just being in the things. We've been doing our first cohort of Black Poetic Astronomy in person in Atlanta, and wow, it has been so deep and so rich, and also it's been a lot of work. A big shout out to everyone who's a part of this first cohort. It has surprised me how expansive it is and how deep everyone's pouring into it. I'm really enjoying it and really excited to do the virtual cohort next month. I also have been taking a while to make this update and tell the story because I have been grieving, thankfully, not just grieving, but alchemizing it and dancing in the shadows of the wounds and playing with the practice of learning how to be wounded, how to learn from the wounds. In an essay I wrote a few years ago, kind of my thesis on why I think grief has such liberatory potential, I wrote, I want our hurt not to be in vain. I want to transmute it. Want each cut to open a new perspective. I wrote about learning how to be wounded. I explored prompts to consent to wounds by surrendering to the transformation these wounds and the space opened within them could bring about. I reflected how more tenderly I look at my wounds when I understand them as portals. When I see the space a laceration has opened in me and do not look away from the red but look deeper into it. I understand new skin will come to mend the gap and see this not just as a closing of a wound but as a passing into a new self and closing the door behind me. I understand this new skin will be made for me now, that will hug my body, affirming the shape I am in. And so I dress my wounds with care. I tend to my wounds with curiosity. I ask them to teach me what possibilities I contain, what worlds, what lineage lives within the container of my flesh. Dancing with the wounds of the last few weeks, and I am learning to move forward with the lessons that they've given me. From mundane things like my computer breaking, to wounds in relations, to traumatic memory in the body. This is some of what we've been moving through. My computer had an accident. I don't know how to say it. She got hurt. I opened my computer one evening and I just started blurring and the light started fading out. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't like my phone, no offense. I do everything on my computer. I text on my computer, I work on my computer, I think on my computer, I write on my computer. Like this, I really love her. And there's so much to say about that because I no, we have all these feelings about technology, about the technological systems that our lives runs on the interfaces and social platforms that we are confined to participate in. Trust me, I think about it. But also, I have so much reverence for the fact that this object that I do so much for comes from the earth, that these materials are not without cost, and that these rare minerals that we are mining and nearly endlessly are really precious, literally precious minerals. There was a lot of grief in even her, thank goodness, not dying, but even being injured. I was like, I can't be without her. Had to take her to the little computer hospital. There's a great local repair place here in Atlanta. It's great because they give you a lot of agency in picking what kind of parts you want, refurbished from whom, what quality, and give you transparency into the cost, which like Apple would not do. Yeah, I had to replace the whole top. Anyway, the whole point I'm saying is I think it's kind of funny because the part that was cheapest and most readily available is a different color than my computer is. My computer is dark space, whatever the color is, and this is just like silver. So I have like a duotone computer now. I call her Frankenstein computer, and I really like it. I think it's kind of cute, the contrast, but also I like that it reminds me of her fragility, but also that resilience and just this relationship and responsibility as a caretaker I have with this object. I don't know, going through repair and appreciating her in this shape feels really lovely. So anyway, that put me back some days. Just logistics. It's hard to do big girl shit. But also just been doing the work, doing emotional work, emotional healing, living in community, practicing in community, and having to then show up for the conflict and resolution, and doing that wholeheartedly and with grace and with willingness to look at myself, to be honest about if I feel wounded, where those wounds come from. You know, you're in a present moment in current relations, but also what are all the past things, entanglements that you're pulling on in these present day practices. That can be a lot. I'm really proud of us and we've been doing that repair and practicing grace and just a willingness to practice. We are trying to love in ways different than how we've been taught. We are trying to live in ways that are not offered to us, and please, can we be kind to ourselves as we figure it out? And similar in terms of just the body remembering, yeah, did not expect it to come up. Don't plan these things. My body remembers something. Trigger warning, essay. I'm not going to go into details, but point is, yeah, I had my body touched in a very safe way, and just the flesh, the body instantly remembered. It's been 4 years since my sexual assault, but wow, there were things that I had forgotten that my flesh did not, and to have that just come back to me in vivid memory was terrifying, uncomfortable, painful, tiring. And so yeah, we had to just spend some time feeling through that, again, giving ourselves grace as we were practicing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll give myself a couple days, give myself the week, because I'm still tired. Even when I feel like had moved through some of the okay, I'm calming my body down, reminding myself I'm safe, moving these things, I was tired from doing all that work. But we used our tools. I wrote a poem, hosted a playlist session, listening session, as I've been doing here this summer, and it felt really good to alchemize it into art, into a poem, and also telling people. I think that's something that even right now I'm scared to do, and I wonder if I'll edit this out, because it feels wrong to not wrong, but I'll go into it, I'll say it. When I first experienced sexual assault, I struggled to tell anyone, and the first person I told, I don't think understood the gravity of the situation or didn't respond in the way that made me feel like I should take it seriously, and so I pushed it away and I didn't tell anyone else for a month. And then finally talked to a therapist, and I was like, oh, I remember she said, well, do you want to tell me about what happened? And just that question of someone giving me the space to say it. This is so much of what I am pulled towards in grief work, is so often when something happens dark or heavy, we say, let me give you space, or I'll wait till you tell me and I won't ask. And actually it feels really nice to be asked. Even small things of if someone tells you their parent passed away or their grandparent, what's their name? To bring them into the space. And I think that's similar with our wounds and our traumas, is we aren't often asked to be able to say. So that's a wound from back when I first experienced sexual assault, but also then when this memory came up, it felt like, well, it didn't happen, so I should just process it. But yeah, shout out to my friends here who gave me the space to just talk about it and say it. Maybe I will include the poem here. Maybe I'll just read it now. We're here, so I'm curious about just reading it from the present moment. In a way where I wonder if reading it now, with some time even more past, will continue to help me move it out. I wonder if reading this now will offer more release. The poem is titled, Don't Worry, I Don't Want You Forever. I fall in love and make friends with the same words. What signals do you want? What warning do you need? I want you on your knees. How to title an admission. I'm curious, not just for touch. I don't just want to be watched, I want to be seen. I fear narcissism, but all these poems I paint are self-portraits. I'm learning not to fear the voyeur. I rise in fantasies of an untouching audience. Is it truth or surrender, regret or revenge that makes me crave this imbalanced attraction? What if I let myself want? I choose to love you as a friend in the hope it will buy us some time. Will make this last longer, allow you to linger. Would you care if you couldn't have me? I take your hand, let it travel my knee, let it crawl up my stomach and into my mouth. I devour your want. Fuck, marry, kill. Blue, violet, ochre. I dare you to feel that hunger for all this color. Can you hear me through all this red? It's interesting the things men will ask you in bars. They ask about work, about are you from here? Are you alone? You asked for my email without knowing how deeply I reside offline in the online of .coms and hyperlinks. My secrets are spilled across the internet. You told me you loved me at the second bar, but I'll pretend to forget. What you meant to say was, I could love you, I would love you, could fall if you let me. We could be that for each other. I could be the one to want to hold all your details. I'm grateful for the stranger who asked about priority, who let me tell them about embody, about how right now my biggest priority is being in this body, practicing it in all its shapes, feeling all the sensations of the surrounding, the bad and the ugly and the deep grief, so that when I felt joy, when I met love, I would know how to experience it that much more deeply. Last week, 3 people tell me I radiate joy and resilience, and I cringe at the latter. This week, I hide from every "how are you?" I pride myself in honesty and the reality of this grief, but still I feel shy to admit how I weeped. You trace the sun on my wrist and ask what my childhood was like. I find a poem from 15. They call her Little Miss Sunshine, but there's a storm in her mind, crashing, burning, destroying, masking that night she's alone and the smile dies. The rain comes pouring from her eyes. They call her Little Miss Sunshine because they don't know what happens inside. I feel this erupting joy because I have felt the dark depths of my grief. I dance like this because my body has been bruised. I shake like this because I have been held down, pinned to my back. I move like this because I have been told to stay still. I touch my own body, hips, arms, neck, hair, because this isn't mine and I get to. So when you see me dancing, know the invitation is not to touch, it is to admit, to tell me the truth, to be honest about the wounds that make you look beyond yourself. Open your eyes. Now close them. Do you hear that percussion? Can you guess where we're going? What would your hips do if you let them go first? Where would your hands go if you let them touch? What story is there in your own container? Do you agree it's the saddest people that have the best sex? That know how to love the deepest, let the salts mix and make crystals? You're happy in this crisis. So how could I love you? How could the sex be any good if you don't think about war? If you aren't contemplating the endings amongst us? Tell me about the galaxies in ash. Who did you have to burn to become this iteration? We remind each other of past versions, maybe past lives. Either way, things we are moving away from, evolving beyond. But the familiarity brews a certain kind of attraction, like being able to cradle a younger you, console and confirm that broken part, the wounded version you've already left and had to leave, but sometimes still miss. The part of you departed that in lost moments you wish you could return to. The you before your mom died, before your dad got sick. The you before you realized, before you remembered. I laugh that this is simpler. I would question how I treat boys if I didn't love women so much. I wonder if I would love men more if I didn't fear them so much. I wonder if I would love men more if I had been around me growing up. It would feel cringe if it didn't feel so true. Maybe I should be more careful. I tell 3 men how I was hurt, turned, and taken. I tell you I like to play and I wonder what you think that allows. I play a song on repeat that wails. I play breathing song on loop until I weep, run laps around the lake until I can't breathe, can't leave, until the heaving is physical. I collapse in a loop of trees and let memory scream. During my visit, you tell me I have a beautiful cry. You whisper in my ear you want to destroy me. What is it with me and murderous men? Sitting on your floor in candlelight, I ask again, what is your name? And I receive a different answer. Your hands on my neck. Who are you when you're angry? If I hadn't left, how would you have hurt me? What would you do when I told you I didn't believe in your God? I ride the line of memorial tracing quartz. I'm so malleable right now, I feel like fiction. And so what if we did? We agree there's more pain in practice and more practice in pain. So fine. Make a story of me. Ooh. I do feel lighter. I think I'll feel lighter if I actually post this. I've been moving through in the last few weeks, but still feeling so much beauty. Because so much of what I've been practicing is reclaiming and embracing and cherishing my desire even when my body remembers. Even when my body remembers grief and pain. Even when my body remembers how old it is, how young it is, how small, how big. Even when my body remembers how far away it is from home. Even when my body remembers how close it is, how already arrived, I still keep dreaming, keep wanting, keep trying, keep practicing. That's hard. Tired, really tired, feel really, really tired, but in a good way. It does feel like the tired after a long run or a workout where you go up in weights and it like hurts. It hurts. I'm also experiencing another delayed cycle, which just adds to the wateriness of it all and the feeling of not being able to tell if the emotions, if the fear is something that should tell you to stop or tell you to keep going. And essentially, I've decided to keep going, to continue even when I'm grieving, to continue even when my body remembers how afraid it is. But through all of that, it has actually felt really lovely to grieve and then keep going because it's practice. It's part of it. We're doing things that we don't know how to do. We are creating things that don't exist. We are dreaming beyond what is offered, and it's fucking scary. It is, and it hurts. Growing pains, like genuinely aches of muscles growing, wounds of messing up to figure out what we should do next. I feel a little bit tender, sore from the practicing. I want to rest a bit. But in that surrender, there's so much celebration of what I've attempted, what I've tried, what I've done, what we've done. Like, because also none of this am I saying in the singular. And those who I've been in practice with in the very, very recent, in the near recent, in the long recent, know what I mean, because you've been practicing with me. I have been practicing with you. And in our practice, there's memory of other experiences. There's memories of not our own experiences. There's memory of how much we want, how much could be, how much is possible, how much we are working towards. And even when the body remembers, just keep going. Most nights, I go dancing alone. I often prefer it. I navigate the crowds on my own terms. I practice asking for more space when I need it. I practice asking for what I need. I find strangers to dance with, girls and gays and theys who I know are also alchemizing tonight. I ask for help if I need it. I help myself. Over the last 4 years since my assault, dance floors have been a core part of my recovery. They have offered me a place to reconnect to my body, to sensuality, and touch. On the dance floor, I dance and touch my body the way I want. I let my hands rest on my chest, let them trail up my neck, into my hair, and along my arms. I do this for me and no one else. I remind myself this body is mine, my home for this lifetime. Each night I go out, I put on my little outfit, I travel out with moody tunes, and then I dance and sweat and smile and shake and make it back home, alone, safe, and lay and fall asleep to mystical love songs. Each night I complete this ritual, I remind myself of my agency, assure myself of the safety I and we can create for ourselves and each other, sanctuaries we can share in synchronous solitude. My gratitude to all the hosts, the venues, the DJs, the musicians, the producers, the dancers, all the people who make dance music and nightlife safe. A place for us to dance with ghosts, to shake in the shadows, and slowly recover. I was driving home on the full moon last night after dancing, and I had my sunroof open on the highway, and I was just driving and singing, because the drive home at 3 a.m. is so important. What you play, how loud you sing, the wind. I had my car snacks. Anyways, I was driving, singing my songs, feeling so moody, feeling so good, dancing, and just catching the full moon through my sunroof and just asking for release, because this month has offered me so much, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, it's definitely been that healing work that is heavy, that you're tired after, even when you feel the lightness after, you're tired, and that has its own heaviness. So I am looking forward to rest in August. I really have enjoyed writing right now because it allows the kind of time collapsing and warping and collaging that I feel right now, and that I feel like is so much a part of moving forward. A big part of healing is that time collapse. Healing feels like not substantial enough word. I think that word can be pushed around a lot, but I do mean it in a very genuine sense, and healing in the sense of enabled to go forward as a different person with what you've learned. Point is, the work I'm trying to do internally, externally, collectively, requires sitting in that uncomfortable superpositions of past, present, future, and doing the work of picking apart the wounds and understanding when this wound comes from way back there or just right there, or a fear of over there. So I appreciate getting to write this and getting to both mix fact and fiction, mix past and present. I have so much to say about the summer, so much, but right now I'm sharing in the present tense, and I just feel really malleable. I feel like I'm still being me. I feel so malleable. I feel so soft and tender. I feel so grateful. I feel so lucky. And I feel ready.